A man who took on the power of the authorities and won. That's the Afroman story. And I want to talk about exactly what Afroman did and what his whole case was about and exactly why this was such a landmark achievement. Afroman absolutely embarrassed the United States government and their police department when they essentially tried to lay charges that didn't exist on him and tried to raid his house over suspected drug charges. The Adams County Sheriff Office raided Afroman's place. They were looking for drugs, even kidnapping related evidence, and after all that, they found nothing. But they still damaged his property, they still wasted his time. The charges come to later find out they were fraudulent, and all on top of this, they were making Afroman pay for all of the damages that they had done to his property. I mean, what a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace. You go in, you can't find any evidence, and I guess that's how the law works now. And just to make things worse for them, this whole ordeal was caught on security cameras. That's right, Afroman didn't miss a trick here, and he made sure that those security cameras were still rolling so that when the police came in, he caught them red-handed. Take a look at this clip. They only found a lemon-pound cake. The officer is looking at the lemon-pound cake in the CCTV footage, and it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, they've got nothing better to do. According to Afroman, this whole situation should never have escalated in the first place. He said that they essentially clicked a few buttons on a computer and the charges were gone. He also suggested that he was racially profiled and it wasn't a random investigation, but something deeper. Now, this should tell you something very alarming about the system that not only the United States has, but a lot of other countries have as well, that they don't want to admit. People of colour are likely to be discriminately profiled against. It's as simple as that. Now, most people would leave it there. After the cops have raided your house, you'd just go, thank God I didn't get killed. Thank God I didn't die. Thank God I didn't get injured, right? Not Afroman. Instead, he took that footage and turned it into music videos. Absolutely priceless. If you guys don't remember who Afroman is, he was the guy who made the song, Cause I got high, cause I got high, cause I got high, da 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 da. Absolutely brilliant song that. Well, it was this very man, Afroman, who turned this whole ordeal into a music video. I love how this guy just didn't give a fuck. And this is ultimately where things flipped. Because those very same officers that had just raided his house ended up suing him. They got so butthurt after seeing these parody music videos that Afroman had put out of them and decided to sue. That is insane. The music videos that he released were absolutely hilarious. They basically joked about the officers coming in, and then he raps about fucking the officer's wife in the song, which is absolutely hilarious. And honestly, it's something that I would never have expected. This whole situation, I would never have expected to escalate this much, but it just shows he really wasn't afraid to back down at all. These officers claimed invasion of privacy, emotional distress, and they basically said that he shouldn't have used that footage. But the court dismissed the case. They lost. The officers lost the case, despite them throwing a right tantrum, claiming defamation, this, that, the other. It didn't land. Because ultimately, the charges weren't valid. The charges that the officer had placed on Afroman were just made-up charges, based on no evidence. Absolutely insane. Now you may be thinking, well, he rapped about getting high, so he has marijuana, they can arrest him. Look, the amount of marijuana they wanted to arrest him for, he never had that much. Right? Never did, never even had close to that much. It is absolutely insane how they mocked up charges. This takes us to now, March 2026, where Afroman did something even crazier. He countersued the police department. And not only did he countersue them, but he countersued them and won. Yes, Afroman finally declared victory. All of those charges, well, there were no charges, a farce. And Afroman not only won the case, but he didn't have to pay a thing. A jury ruled in favour of Afroman in March 2026, defending his right to use the footage as satire. This wasn't just a tiny lawsuit. The deputies were suing him for more than $4 million US dollars, claiming they were publicly harassed and emotionally distressed. Oh, and you didn't emotionally distress and harass Afroman in the first place? Talk about being the instigator. We're in a political climate where division is being actively pushed, and under the Trump administration, that's only been amplified. You've got a system where escalation can erupt quickly, and accusations can get made, and charges can be filed without any actual evidence being made. And we're seeing that in the current administration in the United States. And when that kind of environment exists, it disproportionately affects people of colour. People who already face high levels of scrutiny and suspicion. So cases like Afroman's don't feel isolated. They're just two a penny. And when you combine this with fundamentalist thinking, people who already believe they're justified, you end up with situations where processes get pushed forward, not necessarily because of hard proof, but because the people who have been appointed, elected, or in power have beliefs and perceptions which don't reflect reality. And this just creates a toxic environment where people get pulled into situations in which they should have never been pulled into in the first place. Power only works when people accept it. As soon as people start to challenge that power, everything shifts. And that's the story of Afroman. He challenged the system and he won. Left or right, doesn't matter which side you're on. Oppression is there. The question is, who else will be like Afroman and actually challenge that oppression?